Something else for you to chew on now. Here's a question. Would you microchip yourself to get into work? Or just would you put a microchip inside your body, inside your hand?
Not at the moment.
Why
not at this moment in time, because I don't think the technology is advanced enough and I don't understand how it all works.
OK, well, it's a growing trend and it can help you with something like buying a train ticket, paying for dinner, buying shopping in, you know, Asda and Sainsbury's, what we were talking about this morning.
Get a chip in you can buy me dinner.
I like
the first UK companies are rolling out the technology. We're asking if this could be the future or if regulation is needed before all of us get chipped. Sasha Twining has been finding out.
At an industrial estate near Southampton is the human implant company Biotech. Its director, Stephen Northam, claims they've implanted around 150 microchips already. And demand is still growing.
What sort of numbers are we talking? Because this is really new technology.
So currently it's 3 or 4 people a day who inquire about having microchips fitted.
And is this yours?
That's mine, yeah. X-ray of my hand.
So that's it?
That's the microchip fitted there. More and more people want this technology, and it probably will be your passport, your credit card, your keys, in a chip, in your hand, commonplace for everyone.
I'm booked in with Dr. Jeff Watson to have my implant. But we aren't in a hospital. The procedure is being done at Biotech's offices. And that's the strange thing about this technology. It's currently unregulated. You could have it done in a tattoo parlour or piercing salon.
So other people could quite simply not necessarily do it themselves, although actually I guess that they might do that anyway. People do?
Yeah. People buy our kits and insert them themselves or find somebody who's willing to. But I think it's important that they're inserted under medical conditions. So there'll be a bit of a buzz from the local anaesthetic, and then once that's in, you won't feel
nothing
other than some pressure.
Okay. Is that it?
You've now joined the bionic generation.
Well, I'm delighted to say that Sasha is in the studio with us with said microchip in your left hand. Can you show it first off?
Yeah.
Can you show us how it works?
Yeah, sure. I've got my phone with me today. So I've got an NFC reader, it's NFC technology. I'm going to scan it so you can have a look. I can scan it there on my phone. I literally just place my phone against the chip, and I don't know whether you heard that little bleep. And then what pops up there? First of all, that's just my name that you've got there. Let me try and angle that so you can see it. There we go. And then if I wanted to open the full contact, I could, and then you'd see all my details.
Why do you need a chip to do that?
Well, it's a very good point, because at the moment, you know, it is very new technology, and a lot of people are saying, well, it doesn't really do anything. For some people, this will do an awful lot, and we can talk about mobility issues. But, you know, in the future, it is hoped that finance companies will get on board. And, you know, the idea is you could go to a cafe, you could order your coffee, and then suddenly you could use your hand rather than finding a card or using your smartphone or something like that.
We were talking earlier about how you update it, and you were saying you just do it as you download an update for your phone. You do the same thing.
So the phone or another similar application would then talk again to the chip. You could change that, and then you could put the details back on. If you think of it as just a tiny, tiny little filing cabinet of a tiny little amount of information in there, and that information, now the look on your face is hilarious.
No, I'm thinking. I'm just thinking. I'm thinking.
I know, you know, it's people have very, very different opinions on this, and I wonder whether it's a bit like some of the technology that we have now that a few years ago would have seemed the most ridiculous thing to have happened. And it will be interesting to see whether it becomes more commonplace in the future.
One example then, a couple of things we spoke about. One, say you're using it as a pass to get into work. What if you change jobs?
Well, same as a hotel pass key, it could be blanked, you'd blank it, and the new one would go on. You don't have to have a new one.
If it's used to start a car, could someone chop my hand off and steal my car?
Well, I think they might, now you have car keys, might possibly take your hand back and go for your car keys instead, might be the simplest option. You know, it's a little extreme to go and do that.
Well, if you've got an amazing car.
Can you show us?
Can we have a look at this as well? So this is the syringe that's used to apply.
This is the syringe. Now, I have to say, I had a local anaesthetic when I had this done, but this is the syringe. It's exactly the same technology that vets use for cats and dogs.
It's a big old beast, that, though, isn't it?
It's a big old beast, and if I can get, actually, the microchip is just inside it. But basically, they put that in, insert the microchip. Now, the thing about this is it's unregulated. It's such new technology that we don't have the laws and the regulations around it. So at the moment, if people wanted to, they could get this online, they could go in or get anyone to do it. And in fact, yeah, they could almost do it themselves if they wanted to. So, yeah.
You keeping it in?
Well, unless there's a reason to take it out, let's see how it goes.
Can you feel it in your hand?
Yeah, do you want to?
Go on,
Yeah.
get it
So
involved.
it's just there.
Oh yeah, it's like
Yeah.
you feel the one in the cats.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see if we're talking in 5 years and we're all going like this when we buy our coffees.
You will. You'll automatically just do that all the time. Be a robot. Sasha, no, look, thank you.
the
Thank you.
Thank you
Future.
very much. Thank you.
It's a thought, isn't it?
Yeah,
Thank
it's a
you
thought.
so
Really
much.
interesting. If you're watching it in BBC South and Oxfordshire regions, you can see more on that story, Sasha's story, tonight on Inside Out 7:30. It's also going to be available right across the iPlayer.
We've got 23 minutes past 6. We love our pets. We microwave
We microwave them. Do you want me to carry on?
That was
we
a
do
horror
not-
film in itself.
We do not microwave pets on breakfast, just to clarify that. Do not do that under any circumstances. Shall I continue? It's a trend in some countries, microchipping, for basic things like getting into the office, buying train tickets and even paying for dinner. Now, the first UK companies are trying to roll out this technology. So could this be the future, or is regulation needed before we all get chipped?
Sasha Twining.
Yeah.
Twining.
Twining, yes.
It's
The
been
Shining.
finding it.
Has been finding out.
At an industrial estate near Southampton is the human implant company Biotech. Its director, Stephen Northam, claims they've implanted around 150 microchips already, and demand is still growing.
What sort of numbers are we talking? Because this is really new technology.
So currently it's 3 or 4 people a day who inquire about having microchips fitted.
And is this yours?
That's mine, yeah. X-ray of my hand.
that's it?
That's the microchip fitted there. More and more people want this technology, and it probably will be your passport, your credit card, your keys, in a chip, in your hand, commonplace for everyone. That's the chip.
One of the first companies in the UK offering microchips to staff is the 90-year-old local newspaper, the Lymington Times. Owner Eddie Curry is going all bionic man, but reception in his office has been mixed.
What are the sort of concerns that you're hearing?
I think maybe Big Brother or having something medical done to them. I think some people are worried that we'll know where they are, but they're entirely passive, there's no GPS in them.
So far, Eddie's had 6 people say they're up for the implant.
Very interesting concept. I think I'd like to let a few people try it out first before they put one in me.
It just seems a bit pointless when I can have one on my keys.
You really think it's worth it for the ease of it?
I think so, yes, or I wouldn't do it.
Well, here it seems that not everyone is quite so keen, but in the United States it is starting to catch on. And in Sweden, if you have an implant, you can even use it to pay for your train ticket. You know what? I'm quite liking the idea.
I'm booked in with Dr. Jeff Watson to have my implant. But we aren't in a hospital. The procedure is being done at Biotech's offices. And that's the strange thing about this technology. It's currently unregulated. You could have it done in a tattoo parlour or piercing salon.
So other people could quite simply not necessarily do it themselves, although actually I guess that they might do that
people
anyway. People do.
Yeah. People buy our kits and insert them themselves or find somebody who's willing to. But I think it's important that they're inserted under medical conditions. So there'll be a bit of a buzz from the local anaesthetic, and then once that's in, you won't feel
nothing
other than some pressure.
Okay. Is that it?
You've now joined the bionic generation.
So was that it? So that's it? I didn't feel that at all. Thank you.
Magic.
Body reacts slightly differently, so you may find it migrate slightly because it's staying exactly in that position, what it shouldn't do as well.
There are so many debates that could be had.
Would you have it?
I'll tell you why I wouldn't have it right now is because what I don't know is, say, the BBC says you have to have...
Yeah,
right,
to get in, yeah.
and then you leave the BBC. Will this work in another company? Will they have all the same technology?
Can you reprogram it to do
exactly.
something else? And do you need an update, 5 years down the line?
Yeah.
You change your bank card, how do you...
And taking it out. So, and you'd have to have it all the time. So that's one of the issues I have.
And to go about your horror films, I'm sure they could be forcibly removed somehow. It's all that sort of stuff going on.
It's not a horror film, but what it brought to mind today was Demolition Man. There is a scene in that. Just have to go watch it.
Right.
So many traumatic things.
Okay, so much to think about already this morning.
Send us your views. Anyway, we'd love to hear what you think about the whole microchipping in the hand. Would it work? Maybe your company's already suggested it. The company you work for has suggested it. Maybe get in touch.